All right.
Hey guys, what's up?
We're back up in there like swimwear, man.
Yeah, man. That's a great intro, by the way. That's the first time I've seen that.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it kind of ends abruptly, you know, but like,
yeah,
it is what it
somewhat like the film as well.
Right.
But we'll come into that, yeah.
But yeah, man. So we're doing a This Just In. This is the 6th This Just In, which I know, like, generally on the This Just In, it's films we haven't seen. There's only one of them that we've never seen.
Right. Yeah.
But I just figured, let's mix it up a little instead of just covering directors and, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Completely random choices, but there is a link, as Dirk said, before we come on air, which you'll see later, I guess.
Yeah.
Everything is kind of, it's weird. Everything we seem to do gets linked in one way, shape, or form, you know, be it an actor, actress, or, you know, it's really weird. All these Italian films kind of like, you know, go together.
Yeah. Like, I mean, these are 3 films that we chose, and there is a one link in between them. So it's crazy as hell. But man, I got the chat. The chat's kind of on fire right now. So let me get to the chat right quick.
Nice.
Let's see. We got Papa Theus, Pap Smear.
Hey, man. What's up?
Oyo Omega, a.k.a. Beyond the Darkness, a.k.a. Blue Holocaust, a.k.a. Buried Alive, is one of the greatest horror movies ever made. And I agree. And I completely agree. And also, this might be the film that warped my fucking mind, because I saw this film when I was 10 fucking years old.
Wow.
Under the title Buried Alive. That's what I first seen. Was introduced to the film as Buried Alive.
Which probably makes more sense, I would say. But Beyond the Darkness is a great title as well.
Yeah, it is. Beyond the Darkness is the best title, I think. Blue Holocaust makes no lick of sense.
And, no, that's a weird one. That is, yeah.
And the Buyo Omega is it's just Beyond the Darkness.
Okay. Yeah.
Texas says, Texas is here, man. Y'all go check his channel out. He says, welcome to the panel of pain. Hell yeah, man.
Definitely subscribe to Texas.
Yeah.
Great, content he's doing over there.
It's
usually too late for my ass, but I try and watch a little bit on repeat.
Right. We got Ultraviolet Hippie in here. Beyond the Darkness is the only film I've seen that's being covered tonight, but I've got a lot to say about it. Hell yeah, there's a lot. There's plenty to say.
Yeah. Keep the comments coming, because we'll have a good discussion on that one tonight.
Hell yeah, man. Sydney Eubanks in here. What's going on, man? What's up, everyone? Man. Yeah, man. Hell yeah. We got Holland Oates in here. Hey, yo.
Hey, Holland.
Now the stream can start officially.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying, hey. Have y'all seen In a Violent Nature? It's okay. It has a Friday the 13th vibe. Solid. No, I've heard a ton about it.
I want to.
Haven't seen it yet. I do know probably a little more than I should. But, that's what's going to happen. People are talking and shit, But
is this shot in the way like a POV view of
No. It's shot like it's almost like it's like like Friday the 13th, the video game.
Yeah.
So this is the way I understand it. Like Friday the 13th, the video game, it's you're following the killer.
Okay, yeah.
You're not seeing through the killer's eyes, just like you're seeing what he's doing from his perspective.
Right. Okay, yeah. So is it like a found footage then, or just like a cam?
I'm not really sure. That's all I really know about it. It's like the asymmetrical game, like Friday the 13th, is what I heard.
But yeah, I've heard it's solid as well, because I'll definitely be watching that when as soon as I can get access to it.
We got Culture Trini in here. What's up, fellas? What's going on, man?
Hey, Trini.
Good to have you in here, man. JB, good evening, guys. What's happening?
What's up, JB? Yeah.
Let's see. Everybody saying, hey. Yeah, his POV. Oh, yeah. So that is something else, though. I heard it was from his perspective, and then I heard it switches, and then it goes to that asymmetrical thing. So I don't know. Like, I'm not the one. This is just what I'm hearing, so don't hold me to it.
No, it's a slasher, so I'm going to be interested anyway.
Yeah.
And it's got, mostly positive reviews. So, yeah. I'll have to check, see if there's an online version of that already. But
and Papathias Papsmear says, yes, The Wizard, big box of Buried Alive. And actually, I seen it from a friend of mine. He was like, man, you got to see this movie. It's the grossest movie ever made. and I, this is around the time I think Hellraiser was already out. Like, but I'd already seen Hellraiser anyway, is when I first seen it. So this film came out in 79 officially, but then it didn't get to the States until like 86, from what I understand.
But, there you go.
So
it's messed up. We will come into that. It's a messed up film,
but first,
oh yeah,
we got to get into the In the Folds of the Flesh, 1970, man.
Right? Yeah.
This is a giallo. This is a very fucking weird giallo, by the way, and it's nothing is what it seems. Couldn't be overstated enough in this for this one. Like it is
bordering on confusing at times, but certainly towards the end.
Yeah.
This is like no other example really of the genre. Because the director didn't do a lot either, which I was surprised. Although he did do, I think he did westerns, and I think he went on to do like sexploitation films. But this is his only giallo film.
He's
I
done
think,
like 54 films.
yeah.
He's done a ton of shit. He did Blood Delirium.
Right, yeah.
1988. He denies doing it though. Like he said he
Oh,
didn't do
good.
it.
Does he?
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God.
He did The Last Gun, 1964. That's like these are some of the ones that people might know. That's a
Yeah.
Western. Um, the writer, Fabio D. Agostini, did Nightmare Castle. That's the big one that I knew out of his filmography that he wrote. Uh, Nightmare Castle, 1965, with Barbara Steele.
Right. Didn't he write? I got down written. He wrote "Calling All Police Cars" as well.
Okay, I didn't see that. I saw, but I haven't seen that film either, so I might have just overlooked it.
Right, we're gonna hopefully we're gonna cover that coming up pretty soon. But he did Eye in the Labyrinth as well, which I've never seen. I think Dirk has seen that one.
Yeah, we've seen Eye in the Labyrinth.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we covered it.
Oh,
it's got another title though.
You're on about Eyes of the Hurricane.
Yeah, I am mixing it. I'm mixing those up.
I think you're mixing up the titles. Yeah,
you're right. I'm wrong.
That's one. Like, because Eye of the Labyrinth is one of the more well-known ones that I've never seen, and there's not many.
Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen a very bad print of it though. I think I've seen it on Tubi when we were prepping for that Spanish Jolly.
Yeah.
That was a bad print of that.
I think there's like a bootleg kind of Blu-ray on Amazon you can get, but I'm holding out really to get like a decent release of that.
But I would say like this film here, man, In the Folds of the Flesh. So this is there. So what I understand about this director, this is the first film I've seen from him. What about you?
Yeah, same.
Okay. Yeah. So they were all, what I was hearing was it's the trashier side of Italian exploitation film for 1970, especially, I would say. But
yeah.
Because you got some shit going on in here. I got a synopsis. I'll go ahead and read my synopsis I wrote. So the film starts with an eerie scene of a young boy, a young girl, and a mother in a state of shock as the head of their father is on the floor. The mother, Lucille, covers the body and buries it on the estate grounds. Meanwhile, police come plowing in looking for an escaped convict, Pascal, who has seen what she did. He's caught, but he says nothing to the police. And this bizarre giallo has more twists than a roller coaster. And soap opera plots mixed with over-the-top perverseness for 1970 especially.
That sums it up really well because, right. going into this, people, you really are going to need to like watch it 2 or 3 times just to get the gist of everything that's happening. Because towards the end, the twists just keep coming one after the other, and there's like no one ever seems to be who they really are.
Right. They got pet fucking vultures in a cage, and it's like, why do you got that?
I mean, some of the flashbacks are misleading because they didn't really happen. It's one of those type films. It's really hard to follow. Like, I just about got, the gist of it after about the 3rd watch, I think it was.
It's one of those films. It's like telling you, never mind that don't make sense. Just fucking go with it. It's one of those kind of films. Like,
yeah, but it keeps on doing it, and it's
it does
so weird. I mean, you've got a guy turns up that's had a facelift, and then he's proclaiming to be the father, which we'll come on to a little bit, and then he's not in the end. We won't give away the complete ending. But
yeah, man. So there's a Freud quote. I think it, and I don't know if it is 100% a Freud quote or not, but it says,
"There's no way. There's no way."
What has been remains embedded in the brain, nestled in the folds of the flesh, distorted. It conditions and subconsciously impels. Man, this film's got all kinds of crazy shit going on. Childhood trauma, incest, blackmail, rape, murder, and one crazy ass dysfunctional family.
Oh man, yeah. I will give it the one plus. I will give it is I think the two women leads. I think Eleonora Rossi Drago plays Lucille. I think she smashes it in the role. And I really like Per Angeli, who plays Felice as well.
Yeah.
Both of them kind of got pretty dark sort of real lives, which we'll come into in a bit.
And this is like
as
the
well.
end of their careers as well.
Yeah.
Because this, for the chick right here, Eleonora Rossi, is it Drago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Drago. Yeah,
This is her last film, period. So she was probably like, fuck this. I'm not doing no shit like this no more.
I think she become by
She
a
did great,
44 year. Oh man, I think it's probably. I've not seen any of her other films, but I would imagine this is probably one of her better performances.
No, it's
But
not. Like she
no,
had like a crazy big
okay,
career. Like she had
yeah,
like way better films. I've never seen them, but just
right,
reading through her filmography and stuff, and she's like won other things, like
awards and shit. Yeah, I
right.
think.
But this, you could tell she's a solid actress, and like the opening scene and like the first 20-30 minutes, man, is pretty solid with her, man. Like when you
Yeah,
see her, like she's got blood on her hands, she grabs that gate. I mean,
yeah.
I was kind of like getting some like Barbara Steele kind of vibes. I know she's nowhere near that level, but
That's what I was going to say. That exactly. She reminded me exactly of Barbara Steele. Just the
yeah,
look of her, and
right.
she's dressed in black. Yeah, I think by the time this film came around, she was like 44 years of age, and she was kind of washed up. If that's kind of what they kind of say when your career's coming to an end. And she probably did have to like go down a little bit to accept this role, because this is not to what she was used to.
Right.
But no, I think I think everyone pretty much does a good job in the cast. I think they play off really well together. The whole fucked up family dynamics.
Oh man,
Man,
I've
it's
never
like
seen
brilliant.
well, no, I can't say that. This is a pretty fucked up family though, dude. Like, and
Yeah.
I knew I recognized her from something. I just couldn't figure out what it was. But she was in Dorian Gray.
Okay, I've not seen Dallamano's film. Yeah.
Yeah, the Dallamano film. She played Esther Clouston in that film. It's not a very big role, but I do remember seeing her in it. So
Yeah, she's very distinctive anyway, and she just the whole look of her.
right.
I don't know if people can see the cover there, but
Then you got you got Pierre Angeli, or that's her stage name, and her real name was what? Anna Maria Pierre Angeli.
yeah.
She was like a really big actress early on in her career, and she dated James Dean. Like, I know we spoke about it a little bit. She dated James Dean, and her mother didn't approve and shit. And then she also dated Kirk Douglas and shit. Like,
Oh shit! Never. No.
yeah. But she was at the end of her career as well. And,
yeah.
So these two actresses, this is like where their careers died, pretty much.
And like basically, yeah. Pardon the pun as well. She went on less than, I think it was like a year later. I think it was 71. And she obviously committed suicide. She took an overdose. I don't know if it was meant, if it's accidental or.
It's a suicide, is what I saw too, and also so she was getting some kind of shot from her doctor, and then she wasn't supposed to take some kind of barbiturates she was taking. She ended up taking them anyway,
right?
And then
yeah,
she died. But they said she did, like, there was a quote where she said that James Dean was the only man she ever loved, and all
that
this
is
shit.
crazy, man.
Yeah. But
that kind of makes sense if she did,
her last role was in a film called Octoman.
Octoman.
The next year, 1971. Rick Baker was a special effects guy on the film.
Oh
And
God, man.
it It was a Mexican American sci-fi monster film, and it's basically like a humanoid octopus man. So that was
That's a
her last
classic.
film.
That's
And
a
then
classic there and then, you know.
and then she killed herself. So
But just to add into the more doom and gloom, you know, so you've got Eleonora Rossi Drago.
yeah,
This was her final film, and in November 1971, she attempted suicide with gas, but was saved by a soon-to-be husband. Which kind of like is really eerie because in the film, there's a flashback scene with the Germans in World War II, and they gas basically the rest of her family and friends, and she kind of gets away with it,
yeah,
you know.
yep.
So when you put that together, that's quite. I was like, shit, that's kind
That's
of.
her. Like that character in the film, the character she's playing. Was it Lucille?
Yeah, Lucille.
That's
Yeah.
her childhood trauma. She had to deal with the Nazi concentration camp and see her parents murdered in a gas chamber, and but she survived. Well, they never put her in there though.
I think it's implied that they maybe raped her. And,
yeah,
you
it
know,
looks like they raped her. I mean,
yeah.
but,
I mean, this, even though it's like this has got very much its dark moments,
and
but
it's
it's
got
still
like
kind of fun, like
comedic.
vibe to it. Yeah.
It's got like comedic, dark shit going on with it. The Pascal character.
Oh man, yeah. We got to talk about
That's
him.
Fernando Sancho, and that dude's been in a ton of shit, man. Like almost 200 films, I think.
Oh man, he's brilliant in that role
He is,
as
man.
well. Yeah,
You had to have him though, because if you didn't have him, man,
yeah.
like this movie would have been hard without him.
Yeah,
In
it's weird role though because he plays this convict, and he's obviously, you know, he takes them all hostage at one point, but it's done in such a slapstick comedy type way. The way he, like when he's having a bath and he's like, it's really weird, like to work out, you know, what it was supposed to be played like, because there's lots of like unjarring or very jarring actually comedy moments, which I don't know if it was intent to be that way. But yeah, this is like a roller coaster ride, really, from the word go.
You got shit going on, all kind of different directions. Fucking nightmares are happening, and it's like you got the trippy, abstract, like trippy, psychedelic tracers and shit going on. Like.
Yeah. You've got the weird son as well in this, which is like,
oh yeah,
what a character he is, because we don't like. So with all these characters, at one point later on in the film, they kind of not who they are supposed to be.
Yeah,
I won't like delve too much deep into it.
Right, we're not gonna spoil it.
There's implied incest. There's this brother character's like getting it on with his. I think she's meant to be his cousin, is she, at this point early on in the film? Felice. Or she's certainly like, she's certainly like a family member, but not his sister.
Right.
And then
the way they get kind of start kissing each other and shit in front of everybody, and it's so fucking inappropriate. Like,
and the mother tries,
man, like, what the fuck?
Exactly, because she's Lucille tries to stop them at every opportunity because maybe she knows something. That's all I'll say with that. What did you think about the dog as well early on? That looked like they fucking killed that dog for real. That dog was dead, man, I'm sure.
They probably put it to sleep. And they did that a lot back then. They would put animals to sleep. You know what I mean?
But the way, like, later on in the picture as well, he lifts the dogs up by his, like, fucking, I'm sure that was dead. Maybe it was.
No, I'm sure they probably put it to sleep. They used to do that a lot. And in the next film that we're going to talk about, they put something else to sleep, but
God. Yeah.
But yeah, man, the Emilio Gutierrez Caba is playing Colin. The only thing I could really find, he was in a lot of Spanish films and a TV star, like made for TV Spanish films and TV shows. But he is in one film I just couldn't place because I know I'd seen him somewhere. Did you figure that out? Or did you?
No, go on. Hit me with it.
No, I'm just saying I just couldn't figure.
You talking about Stigma? I think he was in.
I haven't seen Stigma. I don't think
I've not seen it.
he's in something else though that I've seen. I just can't place what it is. But
Right. Yeah, I couldn't place him. I know there's a very important role for Luciano Catanecci, who people will know from all the Lenzi like crime films, and he stars in like a ton of Jolly. I think
Yeah.
we've mentioned him a few times because we've done films, in the past year that's featured him. He's in Close Circuit, Brothers Till We Die, The Tough Ones, Almost Human, Short Night of Glass Dolls, Kill Baby Kill. I mean, you could go on. The guy has been in anything and everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He shows up as Antone, like this really dark character as well.
Yeah, and he's all like, he's just getting a kick out of this shit. That was weird too. Like if I see like
it is, some
chick getting it on with her cousin or brother or whatever the hell he is, I'm gonna be like
weird. Yeah, the whole film.
I'm gonna be turned on by it. That was fucking weird.
And if you notice with this one as well, even though I've got it scene for scene, I'm not going to even attempt to do that with this film because there's so many like twists and turns.
Nobody understand that shit. You got to watch it.
No.
You got to watch it. If you're like if you're really like die hard into the Giallo, I would say watch it. If you're not, it might not be for you, but
just be warned that it does get weirder and weirder.
It's definitely not for everybody. Yes, definitely not.
Yeah.
So what do you give it, Darren?
Right. So with this one, I'm completely middle of the road. So it's like a 5, and I'm not gonna say I like the film or I dislike the film. It's just bang on a 5. So I can't say more fairer than that. I've seen it like 3 times, doing notes. I don't think that's going to change. I think it's just going to be. I hope it changes in the future, but I think it's just going to be run of the mill.
Right. No, I give it just for like this movie was made for like little to nothing, and it looks like a ton of money was put into like production design.
Yeah.
It really does. It looks well made. The acting's pretty solid. The story's weird. I got to give it a 6, man. 6 out of 10. It's not the best, but I didn't figure that shit out. I can honestly say that.
There's no way you could. There's no way anyone can figure anything out in this film.
Yeah.
Maybe you might be able to figure out one of the characters' little twists, but there's no way you can figure this out. There's like 10, 12 different twists all the way through, and mostly come at the end. And it's just throwing you a curveball after a curveball. There's no way. But in terms of recommending it, I probably would say to diehard Giallo fans to definitely check it out.
Yeah, you got to see it one time.
Yeah. I think so.
Scratch it off the list kind of deal,
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, let me catch the chat, man, right quick.
Yeah, man, go for it, man.
Sydney Eubanks says, name the most underrated and overrated horror movies. The most overrated horror movie, probably Halloween.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
I would say it's probably the most overrated, like to this point. You could say Scream too.
I agree with Scream. Yeah, but definitely.
I think because I'm a Halloween 2 guy anyway. Out of the Halloween franchise.
Yeah.
But so the most underrated.
I'm trying to think of
out of us, like from me, most underrated. Damn, that's hard, man, on the spot.
I don't know if it's underrated, but it's not been seen as much as it should be, and that's House with the Laughing Windows.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether I would call that underrated.
It's not underrated in the community, like the Giallo community.
Yeah. So I'll throw out Footprints. Footprints on the Moon, I would say, for the underrated one. I think that's a quality Giallo that never gets the respect that it deserves. Let me think about the overrated. I'm
kind of stumped on underrated right now. Short Night of Glass Dolls. Not really.
Oh man, that's another great one. Yeah. Who Saw Her Die would be another one. Yeah. What would I say is overrated? Apart, like obviously Scream. There's probably a ton. If I can think of them as we go, I'll
yeah,
I'll
put
bring
me
it up.
on the spot like that. It's kind of hard to think, but
It might just come to me, while as we're doing it.
yeah,
I mean, you got Cemetery Man as well for the underrated, although it's starting to get a little bit more.
it's starting to get some notoriety now. Yeah,
yeah.
I think Under the Skin is underrated. A lot of people hate it. They really do, but
I've heard that's divisive. Yeah.
I really dig that movie. The way, I mean, that's done really well, but it's not not one for everybody.
I tell you what I think is overrated. One's just come to my mind is Child's Play. Again, don't shoot me. I'm a big slasher fan, but yeah.
The first one?
Yeah, I think that's
nobody praises the first one. Everybody loves the second one.
I do as well. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves the second one the most. So
the first one, I don't know. I need to go back and give it another viewing because it's been a while. But I've always thought that's really overrated. But yeah, I'll probably think of more as we go.
That's surprising because the first Child's Play is more like a mystery.
It is. It's more like a solid thriller more than anything, rather than.
I mean, it's more mystery though. You don't know. You don't really know. You think it's Danny, or it's the doll. But anyway, I'm not gonna go on a tangent about it. But
no, good question. So yeah.
Hell yeah. We got Scratch Burno in here. What's up, man?
Hey, man.
Scratch Burno. Let's see. Everybody's saying, hey. JB says, Troy Howard probably didn't like this one. He didn't. I read his review and he didn't like it at all. It's pretty.
I can see where he's coming from, though.
Yeah, I do. I get it. But yeah. Let's see. Texas says, oh, okay. He's talking. Somebody else. Let's see. She was great in Antonioni's. Antonioni. La Amiche. I haven't seen that one.
But yeah, there you go then. Like Dirk said earlier, she did quite a lot of high profile films for top directors. So this was basically
both of these actresses. Yeah, this was like a big low mark for them. Down. So let's see. Ultraviolet Hippie. I'll have to check out In the Folds of the Flesh. Yeah, I'd say give it at least one time.
Yeah, view. You might like it, depending.
Yeah, I mean it's very fucking bizarre, strange. I'll give it that.
Yeah, and I wasn't.
You're not gonna guess. You're not gonna figure the fucking ending out. I promise.
No.
Culture Trini says Pieces underrated. I feel like it gets no love. Huh.
I don't think it's underrated.
Maybe as far as the vast community, for the regular, everybody, everyday audience, but in our circles, I don't think it is.
I think it was at one point, but now it's the last 5 years, maybe, that everyone's behind that film. I don't know anyone who dislikes it because it's just fun, isn't it, from the word go.
Pieces,
but maybe a few years back, yeah.
But yeah, Pieces, it's gotten a lot of love. I think over the past few years, anyway.
It's one of the best, I think, easily one of the best.
Even though New York Ripper's better, we know that.
I don't think so. Nah, I don't think so. Check out our video.
Scratch Burno says, I've always thought Let's Scare Jessica to Death was underrated. Yeah, I think so.
I got to disagree with that because I watched that once and I worked out the twist towards the end and I was just completely underwhelmed with that film. So much so that I sold it the next day. So I had the old rare DVD of it and it was going for a fair bit of money. And I thought, there's no way I want to watch that again. But who knows? I've gone back. I felt that about films in the past and I've gone back and liked them. So you never know. I might give it another go at some point.
Well, Sydney Eubanks got another question. He says, question, Dirk, what was the very first horror movie that you watched, and what made you like horror more than any genre. And I'm trying to remember. I know it's because I watched both these films the same night, and it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Exorcist at
Oh
six
god, yeah.
at 6 years old. And
Holy shit, man.
I don't know
Yeah.
which one I watched first, but I know I watched them both that same night, and that's the ones that I can remember. I think before that, like I might have seen like some crazy, like old black and white vampire flicks or something on TV, but they didn't grab me like those two films really grabbed me and pulled me into the damn genre. And those two films are still in my top 3 films of all time. So
Yeah.
which is hard to, I mean, that's probably pretty much anybody. But
The one that got me into it was Salem's Lot. So I saw the 2 TV episodes of it on obviously British TV.
yeah,
And I was hooked then. I think my father wasn't a horror fan. I think my mother and father rented The Hills Have Eyes. Because at the time, just the name of that film, everyone was kind of, it was talking about it. And those two, I would say, were the first 2 for me that got me really, interested in it.
Salem's Lot now. That is my favorite vampire film of all time. It is.
Easily as well. For
that's
me.
another Hooper. That's an underrated.
Yeah.
That's underrated as fuck.
It is, yeah.
That's one that very underrated. It never gets talked about.
It's one of the best films. Did you see it in like 2 TV episodes, or did you see the theatrical?
I saw it on TV.
Yeah. That's the way to watch it. The full version in 2 parts.
Yep.
The theatrical is just
you watch the first half, first night, and then the second half the next night. That's how I seen it.
But, that's how I've seen it as well.
Okay.
And I think we recorded it, and then that summer or whatever it was, we just played it constantly.
Oh, we didn't have a VCR yet when I saw it. So
right, yeah, this was really early as well. This was like because it must have come on British TV a year later, I'd say maybe 1980. And we had one back then, one of the first ones to come out.
Right.
Yeah, I just remember repeatedly just watching it and scared the shit out of me. Still does, if I'm honest. No, I can't say that about too many films, but that and The Exorcist still to this day, like.
Still they still hold up, man. Pap Smear says Death Smiles on a Murderer. Hell yeah.
Oh man, I love that.
That's
film.
A D'Amato joint. That's really underrated. It really is. It's a great film too.
It is. I think it's got Klaus Kinski in it. Yeah,
it does. And Klaus Kinski's out of his fucking mind in that movie. Well, he usually is.
He's out of his fucking mind in every movie, basically. But that could be a good segue into what we're gonna cover next.
Obviously. I think I know how to say Joe D'Amato's name because Joe D'Amato's not his real name. That's just that's his stage name. It's Aristide Massa X Easy. I think I might have butchered the fucking name. But
Artiside Massacanese, I would have said, but I don't know. Yeah, it's aka Joe D'Amato.
Mass X Easy or some shit like that. But I don't know.
And he was prolific as well, man. But he was for porn films, he's well known.
And we're getting into some. We're going straight to D'Amato. It's so much easier saying D'Amato.
Absolutely.
But
this should be an interesting conversation as well.
I kind of ranted already, but a friend of mine named Matt that told me about this film. And back then, man, I was like 10 years old. We're trying to find the most disgusting shit to watch.
I need to get the blue because I've only got the DVD, The Street Show.
Yeah, but Beyond the Darkness definitely is the better title. But man, when he told me, he's like, you got to see this movie. It's the grossest fucking movie ever made. It's an Italian film, and it's grosser than fucking Hellraiser. And I was like, because at the time, Hellraiser was like the grossest film that we knew about as far as Fangoria magazine and everything, because you didn't have fucking internet back then.
Right.
So anyway, when I seen that shit, I was blown away, man. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I thought that shit was real. You know what I mean? Like the autopsy scene, and I was like, "Holy!"
Still to this day, that looks fucking real.
Yeah, it
I
does.
know it. I know how it was done. Obviously, with pigs. I think it
Right.
was like a sheep's heart. I think there was done with like pig skin and all that shit. Yeah, man.
Pap Smear's telling me how to pronounce it. I'll tell you, I'm gonna try to learn Italian, man, before it's all said and done. Sti dei Massachusetts.
There you go.
Sti dei Massachusetts. Okay.
A rusty. Oh, I don't know. I'm not even gonna attempt it.
Aristide, Massachusetts. I think I got it. If I can
think
remember.
I stick to like Joe D'Amato.
Joe D'Amato is good.
It's a lot easier, but
it's easier. But
yeah,
I do. I've been thinking about learning Italian for real. But
I mean, I've seen so many Italian films now. I pick up quite a bit with words and sentences.
You see so much of it. Certain things like pronto, shit like that means hello, and but yeah, man, we're getting on to Blue Holocaust. Buyo Omega, aka Buried Alive, aka Beyond the Darkness, which everybody probably knows about Beyond the Darkness here in the States and in the UK, I'm sure.
This is one fucked up film, man. Straight from the word go.
Oh yeah, this is another childhood trauma shit going on.
Yeah. It's some of the performances in this. You've got a great cast. You've got the lead guy. I think it's Kieran Cantor. He plays Frank.
Which he's a one note pony, but it works well in this.
Yeah, film. It does. Yeah. He went on to do porn films as well, which I was quite surprised at.
And he banged both the chicks too, from what I understand.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Cynthia Monreal?
Yeah.
Oh my god! What a lucky
he married.
man.
He not married. He dated both of them because I watched the interviews with them.
Yeah.
And they were both saying that he dated them and shit. So I was like,
oh man, she is like, well, everyone's gonna know her. Like, so basically, Cynthia Monreal. She plays Anna Falk, and she plays the sister Elena Falk. Right. But everyone's gonna know her from The Beyond.
Exactly.
She plays the blind girl. Yeah, Emily.
Or Sarah Keller.
That's right. Yeah.
I was thrown off by that. Like, what the hell is it? Where the hell did that come from, Sarah Keller?
I mean, we're gonna come into all sorts of like directors changing their names and all sorts of shit, especially with the last one as well. But no, what a beautiful stunning actress. I mean, I've seen recent interviews with her, and she looks really good, man. Just like not much has changed, even in space of like 40 years. She looks really good for a woman in her like 60s or 70s even now. I'm not so sure, but yeah. It's a weird cast. Like you say, you got Franca Stoppi as well. She plays Iris, the like really weird housekeeper.
She does.
She was in a few films. She was in The Other Hell, I think it was, from 1981.
Right.
She sadly died very young, at like age 64. She was into all this activism stuff, and she
she was highly against like the pets being harmed. Because she said that she got all over D'Amato because they put there's a baboon they put to sleep.
Right. Yeah.
And, she was like, that's a real baboon. Like it's that it's in that scene, and they kept putting it to sleep. She said, like during takes.
Man, yeah. She did some kind of animal shelter as well before she died. She set up a big animal shelter, so she was heavily into all that.
This is shot in Bressanone, Germany. This is where this was shot. And
yeah.
So anybody that don't know D'Amato, he's most well known for his pornography and his horror films and some erotic films as well. But and he's like a producer, director, writer. Man, like I think he climbed the mountaintop because he helped Michele Soavi with Stage Fright. Umberto Lenzi did the next film after this one under him. He's done a ton of films, man. If you look at his filmography, he's done like 6 Emmanuel films, at least 6. He might have done more.
Yeah.
So Porno Holocaust.
like
1980. He did that
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Death Smiles on a Murder. The Killer is on the Phone. He was a cinematographer for that. He was a
yeah.
cinematographer for the Antichrist in the Alberto Di Martino film.
What have you done to Solange? I think he was as well.
Yeah, what have you done to Solange? He was also the assistant cameraman for Bava in Hercules in the Haunted World, 1961.
Right.
But yeah, you want me to read the synopsis, man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, go for it.
Try not to bore people to death with all everything. Like, let's see. So, do you watch the Italian or do you watch it in English?
I watched the English version. Yeah.
Okay, I watched the Italian because I remember the first time I seen it was in Italian with English subtitles. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But so Francesco's parents died in a car accident, and his wet nurse slash housekeeper Iris has mothered him as well as wanting him sexually. She's deeply obsessed with him and hires a witch to place a curse on his fiancee Anna.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Anna mysteriously gets sick and dies. Francesco is a taxidermist, and in his grief-stricken perverse mind snap, he injects Anna at her funeral and later digs up her corpse and preserves her, so she will be with him forever. Meanwhile, other women will pay for Francesco's sick, twisted thought process, while Iris helps him clean up. So,
Right. Yeah. So this film, yeah, is completely fucked up, like you say. It's basically a remake of The Third Eye, which was made in 1966 and stars
one I still
Franco
need to
Nero.
see that I got over here in a stack.
This it changes the dynamics of the character a little bit, which I won't go too much into because I want people to check out The Third Eye. But it was a Film Mirage Productions, like Pops Me has put in there. That was basically D'Amato's kind of company set up to make these films. You've got music by Goblin, which kind of they were without two of their main members, like Claudio Simonetti wasn't on the same track, but it's still got that kind of, that Goblin feel. And really, I mean, it's very strong component to the film is the score. It works.
I was jamming this, man, while I was writing notes. I was going through my notes and writing my notes, looking shit up. So
yeah, it does.
Because this edition here comes with the soundtrack.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to upgrade to that.
So, like anybody that doesn't have it, I mean, I love this artwork as well. That
yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Buyo Omega.
Yeah. You can't help when you watch this to think of the influence from Hitchcock's Psycho. There's a lot.
Yeah, definitely, especially with Iris, the way her hair is and the way she's dressed.
Exactly, yeah.
And some wild shit going on. But I got a question though, like once we get into it, like a little bit. I don't think I'll spoil it if I ask that question either.
No, I'm not going to spoil it. No,
but I'll wait. I'll wait a minute. Let me catch the chat right quick.
Yeah.
Ultraviolet Hippie says, in my opinion, Beyond the Darkness is a pretty damn good and disturbing movie that still holds up. It's probably my second favorite horror film from Joe D'Amato. Yeah,
I completely agree. So, what's your favorite? Mine would be Absurd. I would say it's probably my third actually because I like Anthropophagus as well. Maybe a little bit more.
I think this is probably my favorite from D'Amato.
That's the general consensus of what I hear of people.
Well, for me, it's probably because of nostalgia. Like it's the very first Italian horror film I ever saw. Period. Like so, it's weird how that shit works.
No, it's it's not one I would want to have seen. Like because I come late to this one. I think I come basically on the Street Show, which was must have been about, I don't know, mid to late 2010s. But but I would not like to have seen this when I was like 10 or something. I think it would have fucked me up.
It fucking shocked the shit out of me. I've never seen no shit like that. You know.
No, man, everything looks so real in the film as well.
It does. I thought it was real. Like my buddy Matt and me is watching, and he's like, man, he's even telling me that he's doing a real autopsy. And see, back then you can't fucking unless you read about it in the magazine. You had to go search it out and find it. You know. But
it's the best like fake autopsy I've ever seen in a film. And because the way the guy's cutting up and everything, it just looks so spot on. He looks like he knows what he's doing.
And D'Amato said the way they did that was, you know, he was good friends with this butcher, so he would get the pig organs, the offal, what he called it, and the pig skin. They would get like a bunch of pig skin, and they'd put it over an actor or an actress, and then they put copper underneath the pigskin.
Okay, yeah.
So they would fit it to the person. So he's actually cutting pigskin that's on her.
Wow. Yeah, it does look real, man.
But then they did certain angles, like real close-up angles, when the actual cutting. So it's all edited. It's done really well though, and it does hold up, man. It really does.
Yeah. I was just looking at the comments.
See, we got Sydney Eubanks asks, name the absolute worst kill scenes in horror movies. Like poorly done, or like the worst, like meaning like.
He might mean the more disturbing, maybe.
The most disturbing. Any kind of vagina kill, that's always fucking disturbing to me.
Yeah.
Fucking vagina kills. There's a kill in Caligula, a D'Amato film, where some dude gets hit with a spear through his ass. It goes through his fucking heart or whatever, through his chest.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking disturbing. Like worse.
I would say Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox. Not just, that's violence against animals, but there's violence against humans as well in it.
It's pretty bad disturbing. Too, yeah. That pole kill, which you don't actually see it, but
you've got Radici gets his head sliced off, in Ferox.
Yeah.
There's loads in
Yeah.
Again, if I think of more, I'll just come out with them as we go.
Right. Let's see. Papathias, The Third Eye is pretty good as well. Yeah, I need to finish.
It is, yeah.
I do have that Gothico Fantastico set.
Right, we will get round to doing that at some point. I'm not going to say it's going to be anytime soon, but we do plan on doing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I love the witch in that set. That was great. Let's see. He says favorite Goblin score for me, and I know it's kind of lame because I know it's a big popular thing and all that shit, but it's got to be Deep Red, man. Profondo Rosso.
It's hard to say Deep Red or Suspiria.
I know it's hard because I listen to. I love the Phenomena score. Yeah. I love all Goblin shit, man. Everything they've done.
I would have to say,
but the Phenomena Deep Red sticks. That Profondo Rosso sticks in my head when I hear that shit.
Yeah.
I can be working, and that shit will just start going off in my head, just out of fucking nowhere. It's
right.
So crazy how that works.
But for me, I'll go different. Then I'll say Tenebrae. But one of my favorite Goblin scores is Sleepless. I absolutely think that film. Talking of underrated, I actually think that's one of the most underrated films ever made. Dario Argento's Sleepless. Yeah. I'll say the score because I always put that theme score on whenever I get the opportunity. On my headphones, on my phone, and whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I'll say Sleepless for that. But Tenebrae's got to be up there as well.
Let's see. Film Rage Productions. Yeah. D'Amato.
Yeah.
I recommend watching Beyond the Darkness in Italian. It gives the film. Yeah, it does. It is different. Like the English dub's different than I mean, I've been doing that, but I mean, I remember seeing it the first time like that too, though, on the VHS tape. Had the English subs,
Right.
in Italian.
It's freaky anyway in English. So if you play it in Italian, it's gonna be even more fucking disturbing, I think, because it's just something about the natural language in films that kind of creeps me out.
Yeah.
But I've got to do that at some point. Yeah, I've got to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like experiencing films all over again because you know what I mean. To me,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
But, I still need to nail down. I've never watched, which it's a very big one as well. I've never watched Suspiria in Italian, so I need to do that.
I'm probably the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Tenebrae in Italian.
Yeah.
I've seen quite a few, but I'm nowhere near like as many as I should really.
Right.
But that's something we've been talking about, isn't it? Maybe that's something, if you want to go and rewatch a film that you like, and you want a different kind of experience, then go back and do that. And
Yeah, Blade in the Dark is a totally different film. It really is.
Yeah.
With the what's the hell's his name in that movie? The guy that plays Bob, the kid that plays Bob.
Yeah, no, I know.
Way different.
Yeah,
it's different in the House by the Cemetery too.
Giovanni Fraser, I think it is. Yeah,
right. Let's see. But yeah, I highly agree with Ultraviolet Hippie. Papathias, Pap Smear, Top 6 D'Amato, The Alcove, Cesso Nero, Boyo Omega, Ator 3. Ator is like a sword and sandal type of Conan type film. I've never seen them, but I know about them. The Hobgoblin. Oh, that must be the Ator 3, the Hobgoblin, aka the Hobgoblin, aka Troll 3. Shit.
I mean, I've got a DVD out of the Alcove. I think Steve sent me that like a year, well, quite a few years ago. But the others I've not seen apart from obviously this one. Right. I'd be interested in seeing Troll 3 just to see what it's like,
I'll check them out. I know my top 3 D'Amato. I need to see. I haven't even gone through his whole filmography, but this is my favorite one by far, Beyond the Darkness. But from him, and then it's gonna be probably Anthropophagus, and then Absurd.
Okay, that's different. Yeah.
In that order, probably.
That's my top 3 in slightly different order as well. Because I'm always going to be the guy who likes Absurd. I think that's one of my favorite slashes of
I like time. Anthropophagus, that slow build, burn and shit.
Yeah.
Papathias says, Images in a Convent, Emmanuel in America, Endgame. Okay. Yeah, I've seen clips of Images in a Convent, and that shit wild, man. Like that priest is like there's all these nuns that are trying to rape him, and he's just standing there like he's not having none of it. But there's about 10 nuns getting naked and shit, and like trying to rip his shit off. Yeah,
you're gonna get that as well.
I think that's the film. That's got to be the film, right? That's got to be it.
I think I've seen bits of Emmanuel in America as well. If I may have seen it all at some point. You know what you're gonna get into when you watch a D'Amato film. Is gonna be like loads of gore, and it's definitely gonna be nudity at some point.
Right. Yeah, and it's shit, man. It's that porno Holocaust. Have you ever seen that? I've
seen bits of it. I've seen some of the
pieces.
scenes.
Yeah.
It's fucking nasty, man. I mean, it's done in such a way where like the close-ups of the guy's penis and all that, and it looks like
abnormal, right?
Yeah, it looks like scabs, like scabs on his dick or something. Yeah. It's really
crazy.
And that's got George Eastman in as well, which is like kind of weird when you know him as the killer from Absurd and Anthropophagus. But it's nasty. I don't think I'd ever want to sit through the whole thing, to be honest.
I've seen clips of it, man. It's pretty wild. Let's see,
just think of 70s porn and Bush and all that, and that's what you get with that.
Let's see. Wild Wrangler says, "Hey everybody, what's going on, man?"
Hey Wrangler, man.
Watch Island of Lost Souls, 1932 for the first time. Great film. Y'all seen it? No,
I haven't seen that one. No.
No, I would though. I don't frown on stuff like that. I
No,
like
I've
it.
heard good things. I think
Yeah.
Lorne's like a big Lorne Dixon from
Right.
Visited by Voices. He's a big 1930s guy, and I think he likes that one as well.
Oh yeah, have to give it a go. Let's see. Ultraviolet Hippie says, "I love A Blade in the Dark and The House by the Cemetery in Italian." Yeah, I do too.
Man, I don't know why I've not seen both of them in Italian, to be honest. Because
I do too. Like even on the Folds of the Flesh, I was watching it in Italian, and just to see, but like one thing I did notice, like so the scene with the hitchhiker.
Yeah.
When you watch this in Italian, the scene with the hitchhiker in the car, like there's clips of it where she starts speaking English. It's so fucking weird.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, I don't know. Like they fucked up on the soundtrack or something. Like they mixed English
So
with
is
Italian.
there like a difference of quality, like film quality? Does it go back and forth? Like, so you get Blu-ray quality and then back to like DVD quality? Sometimes they do that.
Only noticed it in one clip. It's not even the whole scene. It's just like one frame, 1 or 2 frames where he's in the funeral home injecting her. I noticed it changed back to like DVD or VHS quality, for a split second.
That was one of the deleted scenes as well. Like when the guy's watching him do it and he's unaware. So that makes sense. Yeah, it could have been like a deleted scene they put back in.
Ultraviolet says Death Smiles on a Murderer is my favorite horror film from Joe D'Amato.
That's an underrated Giallo for me. Yeah,
not a bad pick.
It would probably come in 4th, like in my favorite films of his.
Oh yeah, so Papa Thias is talking about Porno Holocaust soundtrack is great. Erotic Night of Living Dead is a good one too, and I haven't seen that one either. But I've seen like clips, like it's like zombies, and then there's porn scenes inserted. From what I understand,
so think of think of Burial Ground and fucking pornos put together, and that's what you probably get with the last one.
Probably some like maybe like Necrophiles, maybe, but like better, probably better quality.
Yeah,
but absolutely. Shit, yeah, man. But man, this film, man, Beyond the Darkness, it hints on necrophilia, definitely.
Yeah,
never really happens, but it might as well. It's kind of like it kind of is, if you think about it.
Oh, it definitely is. It just doesn't go to that depth to show it. Because early on when he's in the hospital with obviously it's his girlfriend, it's not his wife, Anna. So there's a scene where she says to him, I want to make love with you one last time. And I was reading into that, and apparently they'd never made love. That's why she says that, because I don't know how long their relationship has been going, but later on,
she's been giving them blue balls the whole time.
Possibly, yeah.
So is that what the other title, Blue Holocaust?
Yeah, maybe, because he does get to a point later on in the film when he picks up the jogger and he can't get it up, which implies that he's got like sexual kind of problems, which makes sense with that early scene with her as well. So I thought that was interesting.
I thought he was doing fine as soon as he pulled that damn blanket back.
I think it's like
right.
Oh man, yeah. That is
as soon as he pulls the blanket back, he's all ready to go. Then
he he kind of gets a thrill from that.
But see, I think that's what other people don't realize about this film. This is really a love story.
Yeah, it's a fucked up love story, is what it is. But you could say that with the housekeeper as well.
Yeah, from her side too. Yeah,
and I think she does a great job in this.
She does, man. She's solid as hell.
You've got to mention that bizarre scene early on where she kind of mothers him, doesn't she? And she's
it kind of like reminds me of Burial Ground in a way, right?
Yeah.
It kind of does, except he's a way much more. Well, It's they're probably the same age, both the actors from Peter Bark and this guy,
Right. Yeah.
Kieran
Yeah.
or whatever. What's his name?
Um.
Shit, I'm horrible with names.
Kieran Cantor
Kieran, yeah.
Plays Frank. Yeah. So basically, she mothers him, this housekeeper, and basically breastfeeds him in this one clip that is just, I didn't see that coming. And still to this day, like, it's horrific in different ways for me. Just
It's
to
weird.
see that. It's
It's
weird.
very
Yeah,
strange because, and then like her jealousy, right?
Right.
Is
Yeah. Yeah.
she gonna hire some kind of voodoo witch? You know, like
Yeah.
uh,
That is crazy scene as well.
right. And then you see the old lady later, and she's like
Yeah.
talking shit when she sees him with another woman and shit.
She was actually not a real actress. She was someone that never done any, didn't have any acting experience whatsoever. And
Right.
the mortician was the same as well. The guy who plays the mortician.
The one that's trying to be like he's trying to solve the case and shit.
Yeah, he
So it's
keeps
kind of like
watching
a
him.
giallo in that way, like a little bit, but not
Right.
really.
Yeah. But going back to that, the housekeeper as well. There's another scene where she masturbates him.
Yeah,
When he's looking at the corpse, and it's kind of weird, man.
exactly.
It
Like
is
he can't
really
get
weird.
off unless he's. But I think that's because it's implying like that's the woman he loves, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I guess.
But like you say, it is a love story where he's still in love with his girlfriend who's died, and you've got the housekeeper's just infatuated with him. And obviously, he's some kind of taxidermist in this film as well because of the baboon, like you said earlier. He gets this baboon early on. We don't know what for at this point. But all around his place is kind of like lots of like animals. There's been, like kind of like Psycho, but he got birds and
Yeah, it
all
is.
kinds of
Yeah, I
taxidermy.
forgot about that. Yeah, that's the other part of it. That's like Psycho, and it's but like so this is definitely that guy Kieran Cantor's. This is his most notable role.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was in a Nazi exploitation film called Leaves Lager.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he dated Cynthia
Oh
Monreal,
man, one lucky son of a bitch.
and Franca Stoppi, the Irish chick. He dated both of them. So
Right. Because she's played, like in this, she's like kind of made out to be a lot older. But I was looking up, and she was only in her early 30s when she made this. But she is made to look like really dowdy and older.
yeah, they make her look because in the interview I've seen with her, she didn't look bad at all. Like really.
No, that's right. Yeah, they do that, don't they, in these? But that guy must have been one lucky guy because that Cynthia Morial has never looked nicer than she does in this film.
But he was with Franca Stoppi in Rome. Like they dated for a while, and then she said his ass just like vanished. He disappeared. Like he just like ghosted her ass, right? Like,
Yeah, and then he ended up appearing in porn films as well, which is strange.
right.
Like,
because
because
she
in one
was
of
in
the
some fucking odd movies, man. Did you look at her shit?
I only got she was in The Other Hell.
She was in a movie called Bestiality in 1976, and so she's like, there's I don't know because I haven't seen the film obviously, but in the film, I don't know if she's playing the mother part or the daughter part, but basically, this little girl sees her mother having sex with the family dog.
Fuck.
The father gets pissed off and burns the fucking house down. Well, the little girl and the dog survive, and then the dog grows up with the girl. So,
man, I'm sure
that's a fucked up.
That's even more fucked up than this. Like,
yeah.
I don't think I'll be trying
to she's
to dig
she's
that
in
one
that
out,
fucking
anyway.
movie. She's in this other movie called Women's Penitentiary, 1982.
Right, that kind of makes sense because she does. I'm not sure she plays a prison warden, but she got that kind of look to her.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
But then, but she was mostly a theater actress, and so she wasn't too far away, from what I understand, when she did this movie, and she was out of work. So that's why she took the role. But she didn't even mention that bestiality movie, 1976. Is a little bit before this.
No, because
But
that's weird. The fact that she's like she was a vegetarian.
yeah,
She was against all kind of animal violence. She set up a shelter when later on in the years, just before she died. But she
yeah,
died fairly young as well. She died at 64. Which is kind of young now, or
yeah.
even back then, I think it was 2011 she passed away.
Let's see.
But
Did I read this comment? Papa Thigh says Porno Holocaust soundtrack is great. Erotic,
yeah,
yeah.
I think you did, yeah.
Ultraviolent says the relationship that develops between Frank and Iris is extremely awkward and creepy. In my opinion, it adds another disturbing layer to the film.
It does,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it does. Yeah,
There's a really strange dynamic going through the whole film where you've got these three characters, kind of like, even though one's dead, it's kind of like a fucking triangle.
But is she really dead?
Well, I mean, we're not going to give the ending away to this, but I think it's probably got one of the best endings I've ever seen.
Okay, so I got a theory on that.
Right.
Hold on. Let me hit the spoiler for anybody that hadn't seen the film. I gotta hit a spoiler about what I'm about to talk about. So here we go. You have been warned. All right. Yeah, so all right, hold on. Let me catch this comment right quick. Ultraviolent says the autopsy scene where Frank taxidermies his wife is quite disturbing. Oh yeah. Definitely is.
It's probably the most I'd say it's the
and
most
the hippie scene I thought was just when I was a kid seeing that shit when he's ripping her fingernails off with the fucking with those dikes. I call them dikes. That's what they call them here.
And then you've got like Iris as well, like fucking chopping off body parts like it's really freaky, man.
I guess those were like horse clippers or something.
Yeah, he just starts ripping her fingernails off, and then they put her in some kind of fucking acid bath. It is really
and the actress Frank Ostapi was saying that what I didn't understand her from her interview. I wasn't real clear what she was saying. Something about that she had a meat cleaver. So I don't know if she was saying she had a real meat cleaver or what, because she was saying she had to be careful.
Probably. Yeah.
But no, check this out. So this is the theory I got. Now,
okay, yeah.
And I don't know, like this is a question I'm throwing out there on the interwebs and to everybody listening. So, at the very end of the film, now, do you think that that's Anna, or do you think it's her sister?
I think it's her sister.
Okay, that's what I kind of think too. But
I think it's the
voodoo thing. The voodoo thing killed Anna, so it could be, but it's like a big fuck you question mark to the end of the film. So
yeah.
like you're not getting that fucking answer here, like so.
No, because I think what happens is, again, spoiler, but he basically burns Anna, and then he like makes up her sister to look like a dead body and all that, and then she's taken accidentally,
Yeah, but you see her later.
Yeah.
Like you don't ever see him burn her.
It's implied, isn't it? It's implied that he's. But
I mean,
it's implied that he's burning someone.
Remember, she sees her sister. She also hears her saying that the house is cursed and shit.
Yeah. There's kind of like a ghost voice of her sister. Yeah, I don't know. It's open to
that's what I'm saying.
I guess, but
they did it on purpose to fuck your head up. So
yeah, it's one of the best, and we won't say how it ends, but it is one of the best endings. You've got to see this film just for that.
Right. Definitely.
And I think Fulci maybe stole a little bit. I won't say too much, but I think he stole a little bit in in one scene towards the end of City of the Living Dead. That's all I'll say with that. I think Dirk, I know what I'm on about.
Yeah.
But yeah, this just keeps getting darker and darker as it goes. I think it's a very solid film. I think you could even say this is underrated in mine. I mean, because of the subject matter.
For most, yeah. I mean, even in our circles, it never really gets mentioned that much.
No.
So
probably because of the dark subject matter, and people don't really want to. This is not a feel-good movie at all.
No.
But there's some kind of strange quality where I find myself, I do want to go back to watch it again.
What's your favorite scene? I mean, I put my favorite scene in the fucking intro, and that's definitely the scene where with Cynthia, her sister, like she's playing her sister.
Yeah.
And she, it goes, you see the door open and it's bright light with the darkness, and then you see Iris coming with that knife, and then
it's a great
I love that fucking that scene. That whole scene is fucking great.
In terms of the best scene for me, I don't know. I think the autopsy's kind of hard to beat.
Yeah.
But
as far as
then again, the ending as well. But sorry, Dirk, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, there's a lot in it, but that scene is just masterfully done, man. And D'Amato, first and foremost, was an excellent cinematographer.
So. But the scene you mentioned as well with I think it's Theodora, who is the sister. When she's warmed by Anna's voice, like you say, did that give me a Fulci vibe? And I know that obviously that actress has worked with Fulci, and maybe that's got something to do with it. But it completely. And then you see Iris, like you said, it completely gave me a complete Fulci sort of vibe. But it gets fucked up towards the end as well. I suppose we're saying spoilers.
Yeah.
But Frank's demise as well is pretty fucking gruesome. The way he ends up. I don't know if you want to go into that in detail, but
no, I mean, not unless you want to. Let me read a couple more of these comments right here. Did I already read that? Hold on.
Which one's that? Go on.
The autopsy scene where Frank. Yeah, I read that one. Okay. In my opinion, the scene where Frank rips off all the nails out of the hitchhiker's hands while she's still alive is one of the most disturbing scenes.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah.
I mean, it's just fucking so realistic looking. It's unreal.
The ending's great. Yeah, I completely agree. It's it leaves you there's still that question though,
Yeah, it kind of the suspense builds up a bit, and then when it happens, and you can walk away from the film, and I was like, shit, I don't think they could have done it any better.
Right.
And like you say, it's kind of open-ended as well, but yeah.
We got Russell in here. What's going on, man?
Hey, Russell, what's up, man?
Dirk and Darren. Yeah, man. Just talking about some fucked up shit, man.
But I will say with the Frank, I mean, we're not going to give the total ending away, but his demise, basically, I think I'm going to say it anyway. But so he has this struggle with Iris towards the end of the film.
Yeah.
And it is fucking brutal, man, because he basically bites her cheek off, and she.
That's another thing we didn't talk about.
Fuck, man. Go on.
That's another. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's
triggered
that's
in the brain. We didn't even talk about the cannibalism fucking part of Francesco. Whichever version you're watching is Francesco in Italian, and it's Frank in fucking.
It's Frank in English. Yeah. So. Oh no, there's a heavily cannibal element as well as fucking.
I would even say Hellraiser. Might have pulled. Clive Barker might have pulled from this damn movie.
I definitely think Fulci copied a few things from this.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's for debate either. The whole look in times, I know I've said it before, but the whole look in some of the scenes is like Fulci, man. If you like The Beyond and stuff like that, this is obviously a lot darker than that, but I mean, I think you would really get a kick out of this as well. But this one's hard to like. I wouldn't want to like recommend this to some of my close friends because they'll think I'm completely fucked up myself. But
Well, like
it is a classic.
my
Of the
close friends
genre.
wouldn't think I'm fucked up because they're just as fucked up as I am.
Well, yeah, there's that as well.
Let's see.
But,
Russell says have
yeah.
to check them out. Love fucked up films. Hell yeah.
This is fucked up. This is one of the most
It
fucked
is,
up
but
films you'll ever
it's
see.
also a love story, and it's a great Valentine's Day date
Yeah,
night.
absolutely. Yeah. Buy the flowers, give her the chocolates, and put on a bit of Beyond the Darkness, and I'm sure you'll be on for the winner.
Cook up some, rare steaks.
Yeah, and maybe you'll get out of the whole date alive at some point. But yeah, we'll see. That would probably go badly.
Ultraviolet says I give Beyond the Darkness a 7 or 7.5 out of 10. In my opinion, Goblin's score is great and fitting, but better than the film itself. I love the Goblin score in this too, man.
I probably agree with what he says there because I think the Goblin score is by far the best thing.
Don't you think that this score sounds familiar to like?
It's almost exactly the same as I've got it written down somewhere.
I'm trying to figure out which film
they copied it note for note, didn't they? I think on one.
It sounds so much like. Damn, I can't even think what it is. Can't put my finger on it, man.
Yeah, it's note for note for something.
Is it City, or am I tripping?
I don't think it was City of the Living Dead.
Is it a Fritzy score though?
Yeah, I think it was actually.
It sounds a lot like Fritzy to me in a way. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but
no, that makes sense.
I can't think of which score it is, but it sounds a lot like a Fabio Fritzi.
If I come across it on my notes, I'll mention it. But yeah, this so this was released in 15th of November 1979 in Italy, but didn't come out till the 1st of June 1984 in America. It's domestic gross. Yeah. Okay. But you probably seen it a little bit, like a few years after that, obviously. 87, okay. I think you said, didn't you?
Yeah, I've seen it probably like 87. So I was 10.
That makes sense. So then by the time the video's been distributed and all that, it probably got to you a little bit later. Right. But it didn't do that well. It was domestic gross was 153,000 lira, which was not really considered anything special.
No.
Kind of a flop, I guess.
Yeah, that's a big flop because, $1 million lira is not even that good, really.
Yeah. But yeah,
anyway,
I think. Go on, yeah.
Go ahead. I was just going to read Russell's comment. He says, "Did you know Abel Ferreira first film was a XXX adult film? I think XXX a duck. I didn't. No, I haven't seen that. I've seen some of his other stuff like Miss 45, definitely.
I can believe that though, yeah. But what he's kind of a gritty, kind of filmmaker.
Oh, okay, that's what he's saying, adult film. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can definitely, I can see that for sure. Yeah.
But go ahead, Darren. Sorry, man.
No, that's all right, man. I'm just looking through my notes now. So Frank Estopi, she said D'Amato told her, like, while they were doing filming, he said that he wants to make a movie where people like generally throw up watching it.
Right? Yeah. That's what she said.
He kept saying to her, "We must make them vomit."
This is what we're all gonna do. We're trying to make them vomit. And that scene where she's slopping up the fucking
food, man, yeah.
And then like that is disgusting as shit.
That is like fucking tripe, I think.
Yeah.
She feeds him, and then because of all this happened with is it the hitchhiker or whatever, or the jogger, one or the other, and then because they were like basically just dismembering her in a bath of acid, he kind of pukes because the way she eats it as well, she eats like a fucking animal,
like a damn slob.
No table manners or nothing.
No. But also we forgot to mention in the autopsy scene, he eats her heart. He eats Anna's heart, right?
Yeah, that film, that scene is fucked up as well, because that
Right.
was like a sheep's hat, I believe, as well, and he's doing that for real.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's another scene as well, not related to that, but we get to see like all her like Iris's like family, and they're this bunch of like freaks, and I think D'Amato
Oh
maybe got
yeah,
the
man.
idea from the film Freaks, apparently, from what I
Yeah,
was
they were
reading up.
fucking weird. Her family. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the one woman, she got like a full fucking mustache. You've got
Yeah.
like the whole family are fucked up, man. And she kind of announces the engagement to them, and
Yeah, it was
yeah,
weird because he ain't never agreed to shit. Like, what the
no,
fuck you
no, no,
talking about? Like,
no, because he comes in, doesn't he, and then he just fucks off
he's
later,
like,
like
what the fuck y'all
um,
doing here? I gotta go.
yeah,
But
yeah,
no, so Russell's saying 9 Lives of a Wet Pussy was the film.
right.
I
That's
have
kind
heard
of
of that film.
that's an infamous, yeah,
I've
yeah.
never seen it. I've heard of it though. But
So what I will say with this one, right? So if you wanted to do a really bizarre double feature, then throw on Lamberto Bava's Macabre,
yeah,
because they got the same. So I was
yeah,
reading up on it, right? So they both visit like a middle class dread, like concealed in the family. It's kind of got that same vibe. Um, like the symptoms can be detective in abnormal sexuality. Um, and like the films take place in like an ordinary claustrophobic setting, so it's kind of got that same feel.
yeah. Except
Um,
Macabre's in New Orleans, which
yeah,
again,
yeah, yeah.
they both have that same voodoo element. That's
That's
one
right.
thing.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
in Macabre, that gets overlooked a lot. People don't even notice the voodoo shit going on that she's
Right. Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
Like with, you know what I mean? Like in the
I
background.
think Macabre guess probably is probably more well known. I feel like the two.
I don't know. You
Um,
think?
yeah,
Maybe
I would
not in
say
the States.
slightly.
I don't know, man. Because, well, I don't know. Like, now that I think about it, I'm thinking, like, because, like the friends I had, like, they're not watching, like, a bunch of.
How would you rate this then? And certainly, like in terms of 8 to 10, but also how would you rate it up against Macabre from Lamberto Bava? How would you say? Do you prefer this over Macabre?
Yeah. Yeah. I put this over Macabre.
Yeah,
This
probably me as well. Yeah.
this one for me, man, is it is so like, man, it's got so much shit that's crossing lines, and
Yeah.
I don't know. For me too, like the shock factor of it, I got to give it probably like, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's higher than me. I'd give it a very strong 7.5, say 8 to 10.
Okay.
And I've seen it quite a few times now, enough to know that's probably where it's going to stay.
Yeah.
Just looking at my notes, so Dirk, Luigi Cozzi's Contamination has got exactly the same soundtrack. So maybe was you thinking of that?
Okay. I don't think I've seen Contamination. That
Okay.
soundtrack had to have been used somewhere else though.
Yeah,
There has to be.
probably. Yeah.
There's got to be another film that I've heard that score somewhere else.
It says it was partly recycled, so a little bit was recycled in Contamination. But yeah, knowing the way these Italian films blend together, it's almost certainly used for another one.
And then a lot of them didn't even ask. They just fucking did it, right? So
yeah. But I got a little bit on. So Kieran Cantu plays Frank. He was this green-eyed Turkish American. Basically, he was the grandson of this big opera singer. He lived in Rome with his uncle, who was a rather well-known genre actor, but it doesn't say who he was in my, when I was looking this up. I think I've said, he went on to star in hardcore porn films. But in one of them, he was replaced by a body double. I said that, he couldn't get it up, basically.
I was going to mention.
Go on, yeah.
Cynthia Monreal. Did you know that she was in Stendhal syndrome?
Yeah, she plays the killer's wife.
Yeah, Alfredo's wife.
Yeah.
And then she was in Warriors of the Year 2072. That's another Fulci I need to see.
Right, I've not seen that either. No.
But yeah, most notable role for sure is the Beyond.
I think D'Amato was impressed by her because he put her in Frankenstein 2000 as well, and that I think 91 I got here, so that's what, like 12 years later, 11 years later type of thing.
You know, D'Amato said that Frankenstein 2000 was better than Night of the Living Dead.
Right. Was he fucking with people when he was saying that? Or
no, he was.
Did he generally meant that?
He genuinely meant that shit. And I was like, my jaw hit the fucking floor, dude. Like, hold on. What are you talking
That's
about?
got me interested enough to like want to go and see it now, just to see where. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, that's a big, you know, Night of the Living Dead's not, you know, holy shit.
That's weird though, because the film we're going to come on to again in a bit by Lindsay.
Yeah.
Hitcher in the Dark. Lindsay said that was could have been a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Apart from one or two little things which we'll come into. So yeah, all these are directors we mentioned before. Just they've got such a big fucking ego,
right?
But a thing we never mentioned as well, D'Amato did go on and died fairly prematurely. I think in his 60s of a heart attack.
99.
Yeah, which was a massive loss, I think, to the whole Italian film industry. And I'm not even meaning his porn films, you know. I just mean in general, because the guy, no one had a bad word to say about him. Some of his work stands like, you know.
George Eastman kind of did.
Okay, what did he say? Yeah, go on.
He said a few things. Like
really?
Yeah, but like it wasn't like nothing bad, but
did they clash then? Did they all?
Lindsay too. Lindsay had some bad things to say too. But we'll get on to that a little bit.
Okay, yeah, because I know at one point him and Lindsay did get on, but maybe they fell out later on then by the looks of it.
But I gotta take a quick break. I can put an intro on. Do you want to take a break too, or
I'll take a toilet break as well? Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm up.
But be right back.
Bear with us for a second, and we'll be back ASAP, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. I just put this one on. So here we go. All right.
Hey, we're back.
We're back, man.
I do wanna get this opportunity to ask Dirk and the chat a question.
Yeah.
So going into like the first two films we did today, rather than go scene for scene, I think it's actually worked out better, like and more flowing, like the way we've just been, just doing stuff from our top of our head, or
I
we've
think
just
so
gone
too,
off
man. Like,
notes.
yeah.
So yeah, should we do that in future? I think let us know because I think it's a better show for doing that.
Better
rather than,
conversation.
yeah,
Like,
more flowing and
yeah. It seems to be going a little smoother.
yeah, we'll try
What do
that.
y'all
Well,
think
we'll
though?
definitely do
Like,
that.
let us know in the chat if y'all want us to go scene to scene, or do y'all
I
prefer?
mean, we can do it the way we've done it tonight, and we can still, bring up all the important scenes, and we can work out a way of doing that as well. But I feel this is flowing a lot better. So, and I mean, it's not just me talking all the time as well, because sometimes I cut Dirk off, and so yeah.
No, I do it too. I don't mean to, but it happens,
But yeah, we'll stick to this then, because I think this is going a lot better. I think.
Yeah. Wild Wrangler says Dirk and Darren, most underrated Italian horror film for you two.
Great question. Great question.
Most underrated Italian horror film.
I did say Haste of the Laughing Windows earlier, but I'll think of something else. I don't want to become repetitive.
Yeah.
Most underrated. I don't know if you call All the Colors of the Dark underrated. Maybe not. Footprint I've mentioned before, but there's obviously a few more.
Killer is Still Among Us is pretty underrated.
Yeah,
I won't say it, probably not the most, but it's like the one that comes to my mind, like right at this moment.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Killer is Still Among Us is a high recommend, and it's a later one too, in the 80s. So
I completely agree with that. I'm just looking on my wall now to see if I can.
Right.
I would say Sleepless as well. Sleepless is massively underrated.
Yeah. Stendhal
is one of my favorite films. Yeah, obviously, yeah. That does not get any love. Like, most people are divisive with that. They either hate it or love it.
Well, I hated it at first, but
yeah,
I'm glad
I got you to
but
go
now
back.
I love it. But I think that's the thing, though. People, I try to stress that, man. Like, you're not going to get the full effect off of one viewing on certain films. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, not every film deserves two watches, but that one is so layered, it definitely does. So
I think What Have You Done to Solange is pretty underrated because not a lot of people know about it. Everyone who does watch it likes it, I find.
Right.
So yeah, definitely. Rings of Fear could be another one.
Hold on, let me try to think. There's something. I mean, I know it's a silly one. Girl in Room 2A. I really like that one a lot.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I remember you liking that. Yeah.
Murder Mansion.
Murder Mansion. Killer Reserve 9 Seats is another one for me that I love. Absolutely love.
What do you call it? Damn, what the hell is the name of that shit? An Angel for Satan, Barbara Steele.
Yeah.
It's pretty underrated. There's a few. There's several right there.
Go and check out, if you can get hold of it as well, The Killer Must Kill Again, Luigi Cozzi from 1975.
Yeah.
That is so, really underrated, man. I mean, it's got like an out of print DVD release, but that needs to come out as well. Yeah, there's a few. If I think of any more.
Right.
Yeah, I will say.
Let's see. He says Contamination. I like Contamination. Hell yeah. He agrees. Hell of the Living Dead score is a mix of Contamination, Dawn of the Dead, and Beyond the Darkness.
Is that where you mean, like, Hell of the Living Dead? Have you seen that?
I
think that's Bruno Mattei.
Possibly.
That may be where
it might have been a while back though, since I've seen it. But I know I've heard that score somewhere else. But like Macabre, Russell says Macabre, a black and white film. No, it's Lambava, Lamberto Bava.
Yeah.
And it's in color. It's his first film, official film, that he did on his own. And it takes place in New Orleans. And there's a head involved. I'll just say that.
It is wild to see that, yeah. There is a Macabre black and white film, but it's completely, it's nothing to do with that.
He probably knows the black and white, I imagine. Russell says, like Flesh Eater, starring the first zombie actor, Hisman, from Night of the Living Dead, and also directed it. Yeah.
I've heard pretty good things about that.
I've never seen it, but I know what film you're talking about. That gets mixed views too, like if people hate it or love it or like it. No, Macabre is Lamberto Bava's director. Yeah, from 1980. Yep.
I've heard some people say it's his best film as well. I wouldn't agree with that because of Demons and Demons 2.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Demons is by far my favorite of Lambava. Blade in the Dark's pretty close, so it's up there.
Oh man, that's gone up in my estimation when we last reviewed it. Yeah.
Ultraviolent says no, Macabre. Okay, yeah, I already read that. I love Stendhal Syndrome, and I think that Sleepless is great. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Trauma's good too, man. It's pretty solid.
I mean, I bang on about them all the time. Those two and Trauma. Yeah, I absolutely love them. They're they even surpass some of Argento's bigger name titles for me, and that's just the way I am.
Yeah, so Ultraviolent says I think that Michele Suave's The Church is underrated. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I wouldn't say it's like I wouldn't go overboard, but
it's like visually stunning. As far as story goes, though, like I think they could have done a little more with it, but I do like it a lot.
Yeah, I like it. I wouldn't say I love it though. Yeah.
We got Gored Guts in here. That's a new one.
There you go.
Good to have you, man. Gored Guts 77. It sounds like you're probably the same year that I came out. So
right, yeah.
Inferno needs that 4K Severin love. Thoughts? Yeah, definitely, man.
I mean, Inferno, that's got to be coming, surely.
Inferno, that's one that is underrated. Inferno is underrated.
Yeah. Well, now we're gonna get exactly. Now we're getting opera. Like I would imagine Inferno's got to be the natural to be the next one. And even like maybe an Arrow release, I'd be happy with. But it's got to be coming on 4K because that film looks so good.
Yeah, you got Stuntman Mark in here, man. What's up,
hey,
guys?
Hey, Mac. What's up, guys?
What's happening, man?
Yep.
Good to have you in here, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And everybody, man. Thanks for
again.
Everybody.
Go over to Stuntman Mac's channel and subscribe to everyone actually in the chat.
Sub up, man. Stuntman's got a good channel over there, and
he's kind of an unofficial member of Dead Pit as well, so that's always good. But yeah, go and check Mac's stuff out, man. Yeah, he's always on the Dead Pit. He does chats as well with Rambo, and
they have discussions, film discussions, and all kind of stuff going on, man. Ultraviolent Hippie says, I love Trauma. Hell yeah.
I do as well. More than
it gets a lot of hate, though. It really does.
It does, yeah. I don't know why.
1977, Summer of Sam. Yeah.
Is that a film?
Yeah.
Because I know it was.
I don't know if he's talking about
1977. Yeah.
I think it happened in 77, though.
Yeah. I think the film was set in 77, but Summer of Sam came out I want to say like in recent times anyway. So maybe the late 90s, something like
that. We got Pat Master in here. He says, I'm always here Pat. Too, just lurking. Hey, man.
Nice one, man. Yeah, appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate everybody, man. If y'all think about it, man, y'all get around to it, I know I'm kind of slow with this shit, but just think about, But yeah, and I'll just go ahead and throw this in there for y'all right quick. All right. Yeah.
So that's Caliber 9, isn't it? Yeah.
That's Caliber 9. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
You'll never get enough Boucher.
No, man. No, that's one hell of a scene.
Right.
But yeah, we got an interesting one coming up now. The last one we're gonna discuss tonight. Umberto Lenzi. I don't know if you want to take it away, Dirk, or
Yeah, I will. I was just I was looking at the chat, but
oh right, okay.
Yeah, everybody's saying what's up. Yep. Let's see, hold on. Gord says, looks like Dirk and I were born in 77. Hell yeah. Yeah, man. 1977. Yeah. All kinds of good shit happened that year. Anyway, yeah, man. So we're getting on to the final film that we're going to discuss on this just in. I'm kind of all over the place, but
I do actually love this one.
That's Hitcher in the Dark by Umberto Lenzi, 1989. Joe D'Amato produced it. But
you got a different version to me.
That's the slip, and then I got and I can't show the other cover that I got.
Oh, you got a similar, yeah. That's the original cover art. There's the 88 films one.
Yeah, I could glance it right quick. See.
Yeah.
Can't really see shit anyway. Whatever. But so yeah, man. Hitcher in the Dark. You got, like I said, Umberto Lenzi. The screenplay by Olga Pihar. Produced by D'Amato. And I got a synopsis right here. So, a spoiled rich boy, Mark, in his early 20s, has a perverse and twisted fetish obsession of his deceased mother. She ran off with a tennis pro and abandoned he and his father at a young age. So now Daddy has given him an RV to do as he pleases, and he picks up female hitchhikers to make his fantasies come true. Problem is, it never works out until he meets Daniela, who resembles his mom. Maybe Mark has finally found the one.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it, man. This one's underrated, I think. This one, for me, obviously doesn't get talked about a lot in terms of like Lenzi's kind of. Well, I personally would say it's more of a slasher than a giallo, and I think Dirks would probably say it's more psychological thriller, maybe.
This is solid psychological thriller for me. I think that has some slasher elements, but I don't think it's a full slasher. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's kind of like the Privileged. I would have preferred, like, of course, I guess are we going to spoil the film? If I do, I'll hit the spoiler thing before we get there. But I'm not going to go too far into that.
I think we can go deep into this one.
Yeah. So the lead actor, Joe Below, like, what the fuck? Joe Below is Mark Glazer.
Yeah.
He's the rich boy with the RV and I guess his daddy, like, from the way Lenzi described it, his dad's like a billionaire.
Yeah.
Holy shit. But he was in a comedy horror film, though, that Andy Milligan directed called Monstrosity from 1987.
That was his first, I think, his debut film.
Yeah, and then another film called Visions. I've seen the ratings on; they were pretty bad on both of those. He's not my favorite of the film, like, you know what I mean.
I think he does a good job, though. I know we was talking off air, and I don't think you quite think he's as good as me, but yeah.
I think the lead actress, Jolene Christine Hoopmaker, aka stage name Josie Bassett. I think she steals the show though.
She's by far the best. Yeah, she went on to do the better things as well. The whole cast,
right?
She went on to like a soap opera called Melrose Place, which means nothing to me being in the UK, but obviously a lot to Dirk.
She was in Mikey from 1992 though. She played Jesse Owens in Mikey. I guess she was like the crush.
That's
Mikey.
like a Killer Kid slasher I've heard. Yeah.
It's actually pretty damn good too, man.
It's one I've always wanted to see, actually. Yeah,
I liked it a lot. I seen it probably like 6 months ago. No, it's been probably 4 or 5 months ago, something like that. But
she was in All American Murder as well. And I think that's probably the best known, apart from the soap opera. That would be her.
She had a really small role in The Doors, 1991. She was Casey Scott. She was like, I think, one of the members' girlfriends or something. Very small role, but yeah. You wanna take it?
Yeah. So basically, you've got this kind of this. I would say he's kind of like a Patrick Bateman type character. Would you? He's going around and just for the fun of it, really, killing like these young, like hitchhiking women. He seems to have like a certain type, because I think a few of them are blonde, but then
he's got a certain type, all right.
Yeah.
He wants to fuck his mother, basically.
Basically, yeah.
He's a real motherfucker.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you put it like that. But it's kind of this Dark Descent kind of maniac type, character study, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people say that this is not a good film at all. I totally disagree, and I've heard people say that it's kind of slow, and I disagree with that as well.
I've seen the film 3 times now. The first time I watched it, though, I wasn't a fan. I can't lie, I wasn't a fan of it.
Right.
Might be because I seen the way I seen it too. It was like a bad copy of it that I seen.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe it was that.
This Blu-ray's pretty damn good. I mean, the only thing it's lacking, the features are lacking. There's only like an audio commentary with Kat Ellinger and Sam Deegan, and then you got a interview with Umberto Lenzi that's like 10 minutes. So that's it.
You'll have to get this one because it's got a Troy Howarth audio commentary, which I listened to. Is really good.
Cool.
But it hasn't got a lot in terms of interviews either. So
there's not a lot on it, but I mean, I do like some of this. Like watching it this time, though, it kind of jumped up a little bit for me. I do like the fact I'm kind of like on the same agreement with Lindsay on everything's done in like broad daylight. Pretty much.
Yeah.
For the most part. That is kind of frightening that all this shit's going on in an RV. And then there's people like having like it's real festive beach type of atmosphere type shit going on. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's a woman being fucking held captive and fucking this dude's got some issues with sexuality and his mother and all weird shit, man. But
he basically he's killing off these women. He stumbles upon this really attractive blonde girl. She's kind of just had a kind of argument with her boyfriend, and he's watching. He's kind of distinctive as well because he wears these shades.
Wears an aviator Ray-Ban.
Like very Giallo like, if you think about the 70s. I don't know if that's what he was going for, but like you say, this was filmed in I think it was Virginia Beach, which don't mean a lot to me. In the
it looks like it could be filmed at any beach around, like,
right?
I mean, it kind of feels like Florida to me, like Nightmare Beach in a way.
I was going to say Nightmare Beach was Florida, so it's got that vibe, you know, like
Right.
most of the scenes are all, like you say, stacked like sunlight, which adds, I think, you know, to the film. I don't think it's ever, like, I've heard people say it's boring in places. I don't think it's ever like lost my interest.
I don't think I've never thought it's boring. I think that lead actor, Joe Below, that's such a fucked up name.
Right, yeah.
Joe Below.
Yeah.
I think he's not very, like, I would slap the shit out of that dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But,
yeah, he's not very macho, like, is he?
He's
really,
not like intimidating, you know, like to me. But
no, I think it works for the character. I don't know. I just
maybe for the women, like what he's doing to the women, because he,
yeah.
But like the dude that her boyfriend, like the way he handles him, like I don't know, man. I'm not buying that shit.
He is kind of just this weirdo. Like, and you can tell early on he's just this he's unhinged. Because he kind of like takes this blonde girl, you know, just prisoner really, with no intentions of, I don't think his intention was to kill her early on, was it? Or he certainly wanted to maybe have kind of sex with her, and that's like kind of, he tries at one point.
I guess he's impotent or something.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, so he's like something, there's something else in the background I noticed this time from watching. So is it like maybe his mother fucked with him? You know?
Right. Yeah.
Because like he's really obsessed with his mother, and she left when he was like 10, I think. Right?
Yeah. I think she run off with some tennis coach. I think he mentions a bit later on in the film.
Yeah.
He's definitely got a mother fixation. Whether that's sexual, I suppose it's up to the viewer to like.
But it's almost like he wants a woman. He wants a woman to be his mother, and he wants to get it on with her. But then at the same time, like he knows that shit's wrong or something. Maybe that's why he can't fucking get it up or whatever. But I don't know.
There's a bizarre scene where he cuts all this like girl's long blonde hair off to like resemble his mother, and he dyes it and all that, and it's kind of freaky. I always laugh with the picture of his mother as well, because he says she's like 39, and the woman in the picture looks about fucking 60 to me, and that's always made me laugh.
Yeah, she does. Look older.
Yeah,
and she don't really look like his mother to me either.
No, he mentions like she's only 18 years older than me, and all this, and it's kind of weird. I love the soundtrack, the 80s kind of synth soundtrack to this. Yeah, I like a lot.
How do you like them dance moves?
Oh god, yeah. Fucking hell. There's that scene with the dance moves,
right?
Kind of in like a caravan park, I think it is.
Yeah, everybody's just circled around this.
Yeah, they're playing this ghetto blaster type thing.
Yeah, the Daniela character. They're all standing around like fucking just cheesing, like, you know. I'm like, what fucking reality is this? Because I've never seen no shit like that ever.
It's completely 1980s, though. You can tell just by the ghetto blaster. I
know that, but I've never seen no shit like that. Like,
yeah. You know? I mean, I've never seen a fucking wet t-shirt competition in the UK, but
I have.
Apparently over there. Yeah. And that's a bizarre scene as well, because in the background you can see all these fucking little kids. Like, it's weird, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's not to like? I mean, I get it. I get why people don't, you know, warm to this as much as say Nightmare Beach. But actually, I prefer it.
This feels more like a TV movie to me. It has that look to it almost.
I think they tried to sell the film theatrically, but failed. I think, like it was doomed to come out basically as a TV film. And it's basically her struggle is trying to get away from this killer. A boyfriend kind of gets involved as well. I won't say too much into that, you know, and he ends up taking the two hostage, and it's kind of a struggle then from then on in. There's not that many like really standout scenes like in I can't think of anything that you can really like point out.
That's the thing too. Like when you think about like what's the most memorable kill, or most of the shit's done off screen. So
off screen, yeah.
that
Um,
kind of hurts the film a little bit for me.
Right, yeah, I agree. I think the
you know,
most memorable scene in the film is the ending, but it's probably the most hated scene in
yeah,
the film as
to
well.
me, my favorite part of the whole film probably is very early on with the alligators and shit.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
That's probably that whole, like when he hits the fucking brakes, fucking slams that chick's
yeah,
in. I
fucking
mean, it's
bizarre.
fucking
Yeah,
hilarious, man. When you like, I don't know, maybe I'm fucking sick, but
I mean, she only mentions a comment about some of the people like were not stopping for hitchhikers, and he just slams on his brakes,
yeah, them
nips
sons of
ahead.
bitches didn't stop for me, and he's like slams the brakes, hits her fucking
I
head in
mean,
the
that's a
dash, and he's like, you calling me a son of a bitch? And I
yeah.
was like, what the fuck?
I mean, that's a
Oh
fucking
Lord.
red flag straight away. I'd be outside. I'd be gone. Like I'd be like, hi, but bye. Like because you can tell he's a psychopath from that moment on.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with the crocodiles is done really well. And that must have been an inspiration off Toby Hooper's Eaten Alive, maybe. Because apart from that film, I can't think of another film where that's done.
With the
But
alligators?
that's ingenious actually to think that he would do that. Because
Well, like here in Louisiana, there's an old saying that, like, if somebody pisses you off, that I've heard like for most of my life, I've heard people say it, that I know how to make an alligator eat.
right, yeah.
Like,
And
but I
I
mean,
can't relate to that, but
they
fuck.
don't do that shit like that though. Like an alligator takes a body and then they go store it somewhere and let it rot before they
Okay.
eat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whatever. But I mean, it's a damn movie, right? So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it works for the film though. Yeah, it does give you like this really because it creeps you out a little bit to know that you can just discard body parts like or like full women like dead bodies in a fucking swamp.
right.
But yeah, that is a good scene. I will say. As the film goes on though, like I can see what people say is maybe overlong as well. Because we don't really get a complete conclusion until the very like 85 minute mark.
Yeah.
And then we get on that tacked ending as well, which is so fucking tacky, and it does take the film down a point or two for me as well.
Let me catch it. Let me catch the chat right quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stuntman says, "Hell yeah, I love me some Boucher." Hell yeah, man.
Oh man, she's up there, man. Finesse is my favorite, but she's got to be like a close, probably second.
Gore Gut says, "What's up, all the horror freaks on here?"
What's up, man?
Yeah, I've seen a few of Lindsay's films, but not Hitcher in the Dark. Okay, all right, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna slightly recommend it later, anyway.
Right. It's not his best, but it's not his worst either.
No, it's entertaining. It's certainly keeps you riveted throughout.
I mean, I bought the damn film, right? So
Yeah.
Russell says, "Stuntman in the house." Yeah. Mikey is a fun watch for sure. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I really need to see that one.
Yeah, I highly recommend Mikey.
There's not many kind of slashes of that era.
And it goes hard too. Like in the very beginning, like it's like, what the fuck, dude? Shit. But that's all I'm gonna say about it. Yeah, Mikey 1992, man. Check that out. That's pretty good. If you like Killer Kids movies. The Boneyard is a funny, fucked up film. Big zombie French poodle. Oh shit.
I do actually have the old DVD of that, but I've never seen it. I think it's in one of those boxes behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of I've read it. It's kind of a zombie type fucking poodle dog, which is kind of bizarre.
Let's see. Ultraviolet Hippie says, "I like Nightmare Beach."
Yeah, maybe one day I'll get to that one.
I like Nightmare Beach, so I have to check out Hitcher in the Dark. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say check it out for sure. I think
I personally put Nightmare Beach over Hitcher in the Dark.
Yeah.
I don't know how you stand, where you stand on that, but
I'd probably put this one slightly over Nightmare Beach.
Really?
But
shit.
Yeah, I do. I just like the whole character study type thing, and like
Yeah.
just this guy's descent into like madness all the way through.
Okay.
And I love the blonde girl as well. I think she's a tremendous actress, but like, no, I'm not gonna lie, you know, super hot. And she does get kind of naked, although there is a little bit where Lindsay kind of fell out with her because she wouldn't go completely full frontal nudity. But you see everything else. And she was only 18 as well, which is kind of bizarre when you think about it. Maybe,
Guts.
you know, maybe that's why she don't. I've never seen an interview with her about this film, so maybe that's because of that.
Gord Guts says, get to see her titties in Hitcher 2. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, yeah, one more can say, you know, for red-blooded male, she's very, very easy on the eye.
Wild Rhino says the Boneyard has Phyllis Diller.
Yeah, okay. It does. Yeah, you got to look at the trailer for that. I've never seen the trailer as well.
Well, I was going to mention a few things Lindsay said about the film, and let's just
no, go for it, man. Go for it.
Okay. So this is Lindsay from an archival interview, and he said, "I always try to give a human, logical dimension to murderers, to those who commit crimes, like in Seven Bloodstained Orchids, childhood trauma. Unlike Argento, here we go again, right?
Okay, yeah.
Unlike Argento, for example, I always tried to give a psychological depth to my killers, the justification. Otherwise, it's just because they're crazy, nothing specifically."
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, he's always, anytime he gets a chance to bash the shit out of Argento, man, he's gonna do it. It's funny though.
It's every single interview he does as well. He kind of gets one or two of those little digs.
He's got to throw some Argento shots in there, you know.
Yeah, very bitter towards him. Yeah.
The pig carving scene.
Yeah.
There's a scene where somebody gets the word pig carved on their chest. Of course, was inspired from the Manson massacre at the Tate, at the Sharon Tate Polanski house, whatever, the mansion.
Yeah, it has to be that. Yeah, definitely.
Well, he admitted it was. He said that's exactly where it came from, because they wrote pig in blood on the walls.
On the walls, yeah.
Pigs. I think they wrote pigs on the walls and shit. But let's see. He gave Below and Bissett high praise for their performances, but like you said, he said that she didn't have the courage to cross certain lines, and it hurt the film as far as their sexual, because there were supposed to be more sex scenes, like the scene specifically where she seduces.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be more to it than it was, but it was because of her. And he said he's not the type of director to force an actor to do anything they don't want to do. So I was like,
that's exactly what he was trying to do, though, from what I've read.
Yeah, right.
He was pissed at her for not doing it, so he was trying to force her to do it, but she held her ground. And she shows a lot of skin anyway, you know.
Yeah, he said he regrets not being more assertive towards her.
Oh man, I mean, you can't. They're different times, I know, but you can't bully an actress into going completely.
Yeah, that's what he said, though. He said she was uncomfortable nude, so the sexual moments are lackluster.
I don't think so.
He said that it messed up the whole scene, what he had in mind, in vision, with the Mark character, because it kind of messed his shit up. Because he says when you got two people trying to make love and one of them ain't really responsive, then the other one's not. So that might be why the character's the way he is. They might have wrote that in there, you know.
Yeah.
She also refused to shoot some scenes, and I don't force anyone to do what they refuse, especially actresses.
Which is a lie anyway.
I don't force my will on an actor, is what Lindsay said.
That's complete bollocks, man.
I've always respected actors first.
No.
Uh, the girl Bissett didn't have the courage to cross. Yeah, I already read that. Okay. And he is also given himself praise. You know, the big pat on the back that he does. He says, in my thrillers, a lot of them are in broad daylight. You know, that's what sets me apart from others and shit. So I was just like, if you just get a chance to listen to Umberto Lenzi, and you got to keep up with him though, because he talks fast, so you got to read fast.
Yeah.
And you might have to fucking rewind that shit, but it's fucking hilarious. I could sit there and watch a Lenzi interview for fucking hours, man. The shit that comes out that dude's mouth.
He's delusional as well, because he actually says that he thinks this could have been like a masterpiece. And even though I like it, there's no way I'd call it a masterpiece.
Yeah. He said that, well, to get into that, I got to get into spoilers. And But so hold on. Yeah, this film could have been a masterpiece, but he blames it on D'Amato. The other producers. He says they changed the ending. They made him shoot another scene that's in the film, the ending that there is. They made him shoot that. And he said the reason he did is because D'Amato would have shot it anyway. Without him, if he didn't do it. And then he wouldn't even had his name on the film at all, is what he was saying. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? Like, because you don't shoot one scene.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of you can see it's kind of rushed as well. It's tacked on the end.
Yeah.
But even her performance in that scene is really cheesy.
Yeah.
Like this, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me, the ending.
Right.
Whether I would call it a masterpiece without the ending, I still wouldn't, to be honest. This had a couple of weird like name changes as well, because it was shot under the title Camper. The Italian title was Fear in the Dark. And Germany, it was Return of the Hitcher, because they tried to cash in on the Rutger Hauer's The Hitcher from 1986. Yeah.
86, yeah. That's only 3 years apart. I'm gonna sound the bell, man, like for the spoilers. So I'm letting everybody know that I hadn't seen the film. You have been warned.
Right.
Something I got to talk about, though. Something I got to talk about that Lenzi said. So, okay, if y'all haven't seen the film, I'm just gonna say one more time, like, you might want to check out for like maybe a minute, and then I should be done. But in the ending we get in this film, like Lenzi said, he said that wasn't his idea at all. That it was more like a fucking crybaby vengeance. And he's trying to stress to D'Amato that not all fucking films got to have a fucking happy ending.
Right, yeah.
He said it would have been way more effective if everybody died, right?
Yeah.
Except Mark. And then Mark, the killer, he goes back to his industrialist father that's a multi-billionaire. And when he gets away with murder, the perfect murders. And it's basically a social commentary on the privilege doing whatever the fuck they want.
Right, and that plays out better because of the time period as well with the slashers. You know, that would probably play out a lot better. But what we got was really tacked on and shitty. It was done really shittily as well, in my opinion.
It is. It's so abrupt. I mean, a lot of
it's impossible though, Dirk, isn't it? There's no way she could still be alive.
Yeah,
surely you can't fake your own death, because he even takes her pulse at one stage to see if she's dead, and I presume she's dead. And no fucking magician in the world I know can fucking fake their own pulse, like not being on.
And that's another thing. And I know it's like a pity nitpick, maybe, but how are you gonna weld somebody in the trunk of a car with a fucking
Right.
cutting torch. How's that?
Well,
fucking
see, I'm not clued up on all that shit. So it just, but surely, how would he have been found anyway if he'd have welded him in?
I'm just, I know, but you know what I mean though. Like that's a cutting torch, man. That's not a fucking.
Well, this guy, he's a jack of all trades, isn't he? He can fucking
Yeah.
put tires on. He can fucking literally do whatever, you know.
Right.
But it's funny you say that about his character, though. He is like this rich kid, Patrick Bateman style character who thinks he can just do what he wants.
He does do it.
Yeah. He
the law, the cops stop him, and you know
he
they don't
just
even
gets away with it, doesn't he?
They find out who his father's his name, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, you get a free pass," kind of thing.
I guess his father was kind of like the Donald Trump of his day, maybe, or he certainly had a lot of money, and
somebody's got pulled for sure.
Yeah. And it would have been just better left alone. I don't know why they didn't just give you 2 kind of prints of the film and cut that, the ending out. But they tried to get a theatrical release for this, but couldn't. Which is understandable, the quality of the film, really. What we didn't mention is that fucking bizarre film at the drive-in that they play. Man.
What is it?
The film at the drive-in when he's watching.
Yeah.
It's called Grunt, apparently. And it was actually directed by a voice actor who was in Cannibal Ferox. And apparently this film clips is also in Troll 2, which I can't recall because I haven't seen that one for a while. But yeah, this kind of this really bad comedy film that everyone's like laughing at and
all that. That's like you don't ever see that shit.
There's no way.
People are gonna be laughing for 5 minutes straight. Get the fuck out of here! Like no.
It's bizarre actually that whole scene
because they can't because that's what they're saying. They can't hear what's going on in the RV because they're all fucking laughing at the fucking movie, right?
Yeah. They did. So basically, another little thing about the blonde actress, she went on bizarrely enough to go and write children's books. I think even to this day, I think she may be doing that.
Oh shit. Okay.
But with Lenzi, towards the end of his kind of life, they were trying to get this project together called The Book, and it was going to be films from Lenzi, Deodato, it was going to be a book about Lenzi, Deodato, Cozzi, Alberto Di Martino, and Lamberto Bava. They did this big kind of thing online to try and get money. What's the sites they do that?
Like a GoFundMe kind of thing?
GoFundMe, that's what I was trying to say.
Was it going to be like a Masters of Horror kind of deal for them though?
Yeah, but in book form. I don't think it's going to be films. I think Troy Howarth actually give money to the cause, and Teddy, he obviously lost out because nothing was ever mentioned again. So all the people who backed it lost money. That would have been interesting. I think that would have been interesting, though. But yeah, like he also did. There's a film called The Gates of Hell, not to be like Fulci, not to be confused with Fulci's, which he did. And Hitcher in the Dark was going to be part of a series along with that film. It was going to be I don't know if it was going to be like a TV kind of series or it's a series of films.
Yeah.
So, it was going to be included in that. So I found that kind of interesting. Did you realize as well that Lenzi's daughter was his assistant director on this film?
No, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, which was kind of like she apparently towards the end, she would help him out a lot, behind the scenes and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've got on Hitcher in the Dark. I don't know if you've got any more to it. Go for it if you have, like.
I think that's it, man. I just, again, and we got another question mark. Like, I think, I've already asked the question, though. Like, do you think that his mother abused him, sexually? Or,
I don't think so, but it could well have been.
I mean, why else would he be like that? He's just a fucked up person just because?
I thought he had the mother fixation because she left, but I don't know. I don't know if that works. But the whole...
I don't know, man.
You are right, though, with the whole
because he's 22, right?
Yeah, he cuts the woman's hair to look like his mother. That's bizarre, anyway.
Yeah.
And then to try and have sex with her on top of that is like,
There's
I can
something
see.
else.
I can see.
There's some deep-seated shit going on there, but I mean, it's not it's not the film Lindsay really wanted to make, though.
No,
not all the way.
It's kind
There's
of
a couple
maybe,
things that he, otherwise, like you said, he said it would have been a masterpiece had he done it the way he wanted it, exactly how he wanted to do it. But
I kind of get the feeling it's kind of watered down as well. It could have been a lot more violent. It could have been a lot more sexual, like you say.
Yeah.
And it has got like a TV feel to it anyway.
Right.
But in terms of ratings, I would still give this I would still give this a 7 out of 10. I really enjoy this one. I don't know why I can't put my finger on it.
It's gone up a little bit for me. So I give it a 6 out of 10.
That's good. I think that's fair. I think most people would give it rain about a 5 or a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, because I think it was like a 4 for me.
Wow. Yeah.
So it jumped up a couple points.
It must have something about it because it's one that I generally want to go back to every so often. So it's kind of got something about it. To me, it appeals to me in some way. But
what's his name? Joe Below?
Joe Below. Yeah.
Joe Below. Yeah. I don't know. He's kind of, I don't know, man. He kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. But Lindsay said that he screened 10 actors, and he said that he just felt like the Mark Glazer character.
It works for me, but what I found interesting as well with that guy, you said he was in Demons 3 and he was in Visions. He also did Moonstalker, a 1989 slasher, and Hollywood's New Blood, a 1988 slasher as well. Okay. So the guy's got kind of a slasher background. It works for me, but it doesn't for you. But I mean, like it's good that we have got different opinions on things as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Boring if we just come out with the same thing all the time.
You don't want to. I mean, I'm sure people don't want to listen to, that we love every fucking thing and shit. Anyway,
yeah. What you're gonna get with us, you're gonna get the fucking what we think. Even
it
if
is what it is, right?
Yeah. Even if like I watch a masterpiece that's generally regarded a masterpiece and I don't like it, I'll fucking say it. And I know Dirk will as well.
Oh yeah.
We don't care. We got no added interests or anything,
right? But let me catch the chat right quick, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Russell says favorite creepy kid films are Devil Times 5. The Devil Times 5. I love that.
I've not seen that one.
I love it, man. It's fucking true.
Garrett, I think.
AKA People Toys and Who Can Kill a Child.
Hell yeah. Right. Mine would be Bloody Birthday. I like that one a lot. When you like a Canadian slasher.
Favorite killer kid film?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hard to beat The Omen.
Oh man, yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, it's got to be number one.
But
I would check out Bloody Birthday as well if you haven't. I'd say that's a good one.
Omen 2. I know that's kind of like lame. I'm trying to think.
I love the Omen 2.
The children. I like the children a lot. That was like, I remember seeing that shit on USA, the USA channel way back in the day.
Is that the one where the bus goes under this nuclear cloud and they
and then all the children got like black fingernails?
Yeah.
And then they hug their parents and they fucking kill them and shit. They like start catching on fire and shit, smoking and shit.
I was trying to say killer kid film as well. I don't know if you put Phenomena in that, like, kind of, but not maybe.
I don't know. Phenomena is a mixed bag anyway. It could be.
I was gonna say Alice, Sweet Alice, but there's no killer kid in Alice, Sweet Alice. Spoiler, like, but it's kind of implied that she is. But yeah.
Ultraviolent Hippie says, "I'm out for the night. Great stream. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate everybody being here.
Yeah,
y'all think about it. If you haven't done so, if you're watching this in the future, consider subscribing. We're always looking for new subs and appreciate it. If not, then that's cool too. Just let us know what we can do better.
Suggest us to your friends if you think your friends are into this type of stuff as well. then obviously if you can share the link, it'd be nice, and suggest to all your friends. Obviously, we said earlier, just everyone kind of sub to each other in the chat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. And Norman fell from Three's Company OG series. I know Three's Company OG series.
Original.
In Boneyard. Which film, Dirk? I don't. What is he talking about?
He might have been on about the children, maybe.
Oh, the children. Sure. Yeah, the children. I'm guessing that's late 70s, early 80s.
I'm trying to think now.
But I remember seeing it on the USA Network way back in the day.
Yeah, it's got to be around that time.
The Good Son. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's Macaulay Culkin, I think, is it?
Yep. Yeah. Stuntman Marks' Bloody Birthday is up there for me. One of my favorite Killer Kid movies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite slashers, full stop. I just love that film. I don't know. I just got a real... Bloody so Birthday. Much so that so much so I bought like French posters and
fucking
one sheets.
Y'all need to check out Mikey, because
it's on my radar, man.
Mikey's fucked up. He's a fucked up kid. Like he's like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's bizarrely enough, it's one of the slashers I've never seen, and like because it's got quite a good, high regarded name as well. So
Bloody Birthday is great. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I dig Bloody Birthday too. Children of the Corn. Like, I know people probably hate on it, man, or whatever. But I remember, man, like, it's like nostalgia for me. So this is back, like, I'm a son. It was just like me and my mom growing up kind of deal. But my Uncle John had like a satellite dish. And I remember we went to his house one day. And you could hit out all kind of channels on there and shit. That's the first time I saw Children of the Corn. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, especially that opening scene where they start killing all the adults and shit. But
that's a strange one for me, that is Children of the Corn, because I remember watching that. It must have been like when it first came out, was it like early 80s? And I really liked it a lot, but it's one I've never gone back to. And I've always known that if I do go back to it, I think I've got the Blu-ray.
I've seen it.
I know if I go back to it, I'll like it. So
I've seen it several times. Yeah. It's got Leno Hamilton in it. The probably the special effects might be outdated a little bit, but
right.
But I remember watching that shit, which is not a horror movie, but it's a fucked up movie. I watched that with Flowers in the Attic. That's a fucked up movie too.
I've seen that one. Yeah, I've seen that one, and it's kind of everything's kind of implied in that, isn't it? Because they like, I think it's these 3 children. They get obviously, locked up in an attic basically throughout the whole film. But that's a strange one actually. That's kind of creepy.
It is creepy as shit.
It is creepy. Yeah.
We got Russell saying best zombie kids film I liked was Cooties. Okay. I don't know if I've seen that one.
I don't think I've seen that one.
We got Werewolfer in here. What's going on, man?
Hey, man.
The wheelchair scene in Children of the Corn 2. It's been forever since I've seen part 2. I can remember
I'm sure I've seen it.
I know I've seen it. It's been a long time. So fucking funny. Hey, Werewolfer. Okay. Hell yeah, man. But shit, man, I guess we're going to get up out of here, y'all. And I hope everybody enjoyed the stream. This was just like, we grabbed 3 random films that don't really get talked about, I don't feel like. And we got it done, man. So let us know, man, in the comments below. Any ideas? And we'll take a look at them, man. Check it out.
And, like I say, I echo what Dirk says. Any kind of comments or, just put them in the chat below. Because we do really want to like improve the show as we go, like we're trying different things, different kind of, in the way we review as well. So
trying to get the audience's opinion too,
so anything constructive criticism, it will all be taken on board.
We have some trollers, I guess you're gonna get that when you do this shit, but you know, I'll look at that shit too, whatever, man. But you know, I can
mean,
always
I
tell.
take it as a compliment. Any
Yeah, yeah.
trolls, like,
Yeah,
because
you're taking
they're
the time
taking,
out to
yeah,
insult
yeah.
and the shit, then cool, you know. But it's always good. Uh, Stuntman says I might be in the minority on this, but Children of the Corn 2 is really fun. Some cool bloody kills in it. Yeah. Man, it's been a long
I
time.
need to go back to that because
I remember watching. I've
Yeah.
seen the whole series. I know I have. Shit. But part one is embedded in my brain. I can pretty much scene for scene, Outlander and all that shit. You know, like the fucking.
See, I can't remember shit about the first one either.
Right.
But you're talking 40 odd years, no, nearly 40 years ago when I
Yeah, it's
seen
been
it.
a long time. I do got the 4K. And I still haven't cracked it. So
It makes me want to, because I got the first three. I think I've got the Blu-ray, the first one, and the second and third on DVD. So it kind of makes me, reading these comments, kind of makes me want to go back. And I will one day, hopefully. So.
See, Russell says, great stream and film as always. Good night. Yeah, man. Have a great weekend. Everybody have a great week this coming week, man. Stay safe. And let's see. The only trolling I do is fishing. I heard that shit. So, but yeah, man. Thanks, everybody. And we're going to get up out of here. Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.